Testing, 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 testing. So, I wonder if this is a bit too loud. Maybe if I sit back a bit. Today. Today's session, I wanted to go over an idea related to productivity and why it's so important to outsource as much as possible. So, if we have two different people, we've got player one over here, and then we've got player two over this side. Player one was born into a normal family. And by normal family, I mean they were in a normal family. Typically, you will end up being raised in a way where you're taught that it's really important to be able to do things like wash the car, fold your own clothes, save money, and work for someone. And the mentality of that is if you aren't out there, if you aren't doing these things, cleaning your own home, for example, the mentality is that this is what a normal person would do day in and day out. A normal family. A normal family, though, will also look at others who don't wash their car or fold their own clothes and save money. People who are visibly poorer and work in poorer conditions, they will say, well, we are doing better. We are ahead. And so what we are doing is the right way of living life, because the alternative is to be unproductive and not in control of your situation. So normal people, normal families will consider that doing these tasks are part of being player one. Player two, on the other hand, grows up in a different family. And in this family, people are hired, they've got nannies from a young age. They don't wash their car, take the car to the car wash. I mean, they don't even take the car to the car wash because they've got their own drivers. And instead of saving money, they think about how to make more money, i.e., investing. They don't fold their own clothes. Their clothes are folded for them, and they have cleaners. What this player two ends up recognizing is that in their world, they are much more productive and able to make more money and progress and continue on with their life, have a certain standard of living, have a certain experience of life, because a lot of what player one is wrapped up doing, they actually have other people to handle that for them. So then player two can focus on things like networking. Rubbing shoulders with people who are either wealthier than them or of the same mindset, focused on investing and getting ahead in life. Networking is probably one of the biggest things and most underrated things. I think going through uni for myself, uni was content wise, I struggled with it. And I tried a whole lot of different courses. At the end of the day, what seemed to be the most valuable thing when I look back that I still gain value from to this day is not what I learned at uni. It wasn't even the way I was taught how to learn at uni. It was actually the network. And it's the people that you get to know. If you go and you are educated, you will notice that player two will be educated privately, private schooling. And so from young age, they're rubbing shoulders with people who are expected to achieve a certain level of success in life. Unlike in public schooling. Public schooling is simply the government's means of making sure everyone achieves a certain average of education before they enter the workforce. Private education, on the other hand, is the investment and spending up front to give more during those early years of childhood development so that they are more advanced when they come into the workforce. At least that's the theory. And it does work. So you will see a lot of people from the player two camp who do business and live life with a lot of people who also were privately educated. And then long term, what that ends up doing is they will progress ahead further and further. If we were to draw this out on a scale of time being at the bottom and success being up the top, you'll see that player one will start with an average amount of success in life, will become schooled, may hit a plateau around their early 20s, and then gradually increase, potentially over time, to a point where later in life, in their 80s, they will retire. Now, if we have a look at player number two, they actually start straight away. They're born obviously into the world. Then they go into private schooling. So that's a leap up here already. And they rub shoulders with the certain people of success, with parents who are successful. And there's a high expectation that they will do well in life. Then through their 20s, they're progressively getting faster, and later on in life, further up, higher up, more success. Up and more success. But effectively, the difference here is certainly at the beginning stages of life, but also the compounding ROI because of the people that they meet early on in life. That's really, I think, what it comes down to. This early stages make a huge difference, especially this part here. And then what someone learns and what someone absorbs in their early years as considered to be normal. You know, a lot of people in player one's camp will assume that, well, it's obnoxious to expect someone else to wash your car all the time. You know, how are you going to save money and get ahead? How are you going to, but whereas player two, they are too busy, again, with their networking, with their looking for investment opportunities and crafting their skills. Whereas if you're too busy wrapped up in the day-to-day of managing, everything around your household, everything around transportation, so a lot of, tasks that could be outsourced to other people, when you're wrapped up in that, you don't have the time to be able to focus on honing your craft and getting further ahead. So that's hence why player two ends up outperforming player one. And that's all I have.